My name is Marcus Reed. I'm 27. I fix things for a living. Small things, usually. I replace leaking P-traps under sinks, patch drywall holes the size of fists, and assemble IKEA furniture for people who swear the instructions were missing. Most days I smell like dust and plumber's putty. I've learned how to nod like I'm listening while someone explains a problem I already solved in my head 5 minutes ago. It's not impressive work, it's just work. I make jokes about it because it's easier than explaining why I'm still doing it. I work for a 2-truck handyman service based out of Logan Square, the kind with a fading logo on the side of a white Ford Transit and a phone that never stops buzzing. I carry my tools in a dented red toolbox I bought at Home Depot when I was 19. The latch sticks. I keep meaning to fix it. I never do. That feels on brand. I live in a 1-bedroom walk-up on Kedzie Avenue above a nail salon that smells like acetone and fake flowers. The hallway light flickers. The stairs creak on the 3rd step every time. At night I hear the L rumble in the distance and the hum of the salon's air purifier through the floor. My kitchen window doesn't quite close, so in winter, the cold slides in like it owns the place. The bathroom tile is cracked in a pattern near the sink. I've counted the cracks. There are 9. My ex Sophia left 8 months ago. She packed her clothes, her record player, and the good chef's knife. She left behind a gray Champion hoodie and a note that said, "You're always fixing other people's lives. I need someone who knows how to build one." I folded the hoodie and put it in the back of my closet. I tell myself it's just a sweatshirt. I don't throw it out. Most days my biggest concern is whether my checking account will clear rent before my next invoice gets paid, or if my Honda Civic will make it another winter without the check engine light coming back on. I stop at 7-Eleven for coffee. I shouldn't drink and listen to old episodes of a cooking podcast on Spotify, even though I mostly eat scrambled eggs and Kraft mac and cheese. I like routines. They don't ask questions. That changed on a Thursday, in late October at 9:41 p.m. when my phone buzzed with a number I didn't recognize. I was on my couch, jeans still on, a Miller Lite sweating onto the coffee table. Normally I'd let it go to voicemail. Instead I answered. "Is this Marcus?" Woman asked. "It is," I said. "This is Marrow and Ash. Our walk-in freezer door won't close. We're kind of stuck." Marrow and Ash is a restaurant on West Randolph, the kind with exposed brick and reservations booked weeks out. I'd fixed a sink there once. I looked at the clock. I looked at my beer. "I can be there in 20, I said. That night, the street smelled like rain on hot pavement and garlic drifting from somewhere still open. The kitchen was quiet except for the low whine of a failing fan and the tick of cooling metal. She stood near the pass, arms crossed, black, blazer off, white shirt sleeves rolled to her elbows. She didn't smile. She didn't apologize. She just looked at me. "No small talk, no excuses, just the problem," she said. I followed her into the back. The freezer door gasket was warped. Cold air bit in my face. My fingers went numb as I worked. The rubber stiff under my thumbs. She stood closer than necessary, watching her shoulder brushing mine once. Neither of us commented on it. When I finished, she handed me a chipped blue coffee mug. "All I've got," she said. "No crim?" I asked. "No crim." I drank it anyway. Bitter hot. It warmed my hands. "Thank you," she said. Quieter. On my way out at 10:27 p.m., she stopped me. "The kitchen's closed," she said. A pause. "But if you're hungry, there's soup." We ate standing at the stainless steel counter. No music, no rush, just spoons and steam. At 11:03 p.m., she laughed, quick, surprised, like it escaped. "I'm Claire," she said. Marcus, she didn't offer her hand. She didn't ask me anything else. When I left, the mug was still warm in my palms. 2 weeks later, I was back on West Randolph at 6:12 p.m., rain slicking the sidewalk into mirrors. The call hadn't been urgent this time. The message said, "Dishwasher making a sound it shouldn't. If you're free, I was free." I told myself that meant availability, not interest. In the first week, we didn't do anything remarkable. I showed up twice, once for the dishwasher. Once because a prep table leg wobbled like it was thinking about giving up. Each time Claire met me by the host stand, hair pulled into a tight bun, black blazer sharp enough to cut. Each time, she nodded, stepped aside, and let me work. No lingering, no questions, just proximity. By the second week, patterns started forming without either of us naming them. I came on Tuesdays and Fridays, usually between 5:40 and 6:30 p.m. right before the dinner rush. The kitchen always smelled like onions, sweating in oil and bread warming somewhere unseen. The dish pit clanged, ticket printer chirped like an anxious bird. I learned where the breakup panel was without asking. She learned I took my coffee black without commenting. One Tuesday I was under the sink tightening a fitting when she crouched beside me. Close enough that her knee brushed my thigh. She didn't move away. She held a flashlight steady. Our shoulders nearly touched. "You always do this yourself?" she asked. "Most of it," I said. "Saves money." She hummed low, thoughtful. I noticed the way her hands were steady, nails short, no polish. When I stood, she was still there. Our faces were closer than necessary. No flirting, no tension name, just the awareness of it sitting between us. A month in, she started eating. After clothes, alone, always soup or pasta. Always at the same stainless counter. I finished up one night at 9:18 p.m., wiped my hands on a rag and found her there. Blazer gone, hair loose around her shoulders. "You done?" she asked. Yes, she slid a bowl toward me without looking. Part of me wanted to decline. Part of me wanted to pretend this was normal, and a small part wanted to see what would happen if I didn't choose at all. The soup tasted like garlic and thyme. The room was quiet except for the hum of the walk-in and rain tapping the back door. We ate without talking for a while. "I don't usually let people stay after close," she said finally. "I won't tell," I muttered. She smiled. Not big. Real. Not. Night at 10:46 p.m. She handed me the blue mug again. This time it had tea chamomile. It smelled faintly floral. "I forgot this here," she said, nodding at it. "You did?" She shrugged. "Guess so." I took it home. By mid-November, I knew her routines better than my own. She worked late, later than anyone else. She answered emails on her phone while standing, never sitting down until the place was empty. She hummed when she thought no one was listening. She hated wasting food. She never complained. One Friday, the heat went out in my apartment. 38 outside. Cold enough to see my breath. I texted her without thinking. "Heat's dead. Any chance I can steal some soup?" She replied 30 seconds later. "Come here." I showed up at 8:02 p.m., fingers numb, jacket thin. She opened the back door and immediately handed me her coat. Wool, warm, smelled faintly like citrus shampoo. "No arguments," she said. We ate pasta standing side by side, knees touching. The blue mug sat between us, steaming. At one point, our hands reached for the same fork, fingers brushed. Neither of us pulled away immediately. "Divorced," she said suddenly. I looked at her. 10 years, she added. "You wanted kids. I wanted this." She gestured vaguely at the kitchen. "Turns out wanting something badly doesn't make you good at sharing it." I didn't interrupt. I didn't fix it. I just listened. "My mom thinks I made a mistake," she continued. "My coworkers think I'm married to my job. People at work call me the ice queen. They think I don't hear it." She smiled tight. "I do." I wanted to say something reassuring. Wanted to make it lighter. Instead, I nodded. "I'm not great at asking for help," I said. "My ex said I was allergic to commitment." He watched me for a long second. Then she laughed. Soft, unguarded. "That tracks," she said. That was the night I noticed her hand shaking when she finally sat down. By Friday, a server asked, "Are you two together?" Claire didn't answer. She didn't look at me. She just wiped the counter slowly, like she needed the time. No labels, no answers, just the question hanging there. 3 months in, it felt normal to wake up and check my phone for a message from Claire before I checked the weather. That scared me more than it should have. Normal had a way of sneaking up on you, settling in, making promises it didn't have permission to keep. 2 months after that first late-night call on a Monday at 11:14 a.m., she texted me from work. "Can you come by tonight? We need to talk." No emojis, no punctuation tricks, just that the kitchen smelled like bleach and lemon cleaner when I arrived. At 7:06 p.m. to empty the chairs was stacked. The lights harsher than usual. Claire stood by the prep table, hair down, blazer still on like armor she hadn't taken off yet. She didn't hug me, she didn't offer coffee, she just gestured to the stool. "I got an offer," she said. I said. The metal was cold through my jeans. She continued. "Corporate role, oversight for 3 restaurants, better hours, more money." She paused. "They need an answer by Thursday." Quiet, silent. The kind where the fridge hum feels too loud. "That's big," I said. She nodded. "It's safe. It's what people expect me to want." I wanted to ask what she wanted. Wanted to ask if I was part of the decision. Instead, I stared at the blue mug on the counter, empty, turned on its side like it had been forgotten. "What do you want?" I asked. She exhaled slowly. "I don't know. Do you want me to decide for you?" She looked up then. Really looked. That wouldn't be fair. I wanted to argue, wanted to tell her I could make it easy. Instead, I nodded. "I need time," she said. "Okay. No promises. No ultimatums. Just the space opening up between us." 3 days passed. At 6:17 a.m., my alarm went off, and I reached for my phone out of habit. Nothing. No good morning text. No late-night update. The apartment felt bigger, colder. I made coffee in my old chipped mug instead. It tasted wrong. 5 days of silence. I cooked for 1/8 standing up. Listened to 2 podcasts I didn't care about. The blue mug sat on my counter clean and used. I kept meaning to put it back in my toolbox to return it. I didn't. A week later on Wednesday at 8:52 p.m. someone knocked on my door. I didn't rush. I knew the sound of her footsteps by then. She stood there without her blazer jeans, hair loose, tired eyes in her hands, the blue mug wrapped carefully in a dish towel. "I couldn't do it," she said. No speech, no explanation. "I went to the airport," she continued. "Sat there for an hour, couldn't make myself go through security." She swallowed. I realized I was more afraid of leaving this than of staying. I stepped aside. She came in. The apartment smelled like detergent and burnt coffee. The radiator hissed once, then settled. "I don't know how this ends," she said quietly. "I don't either," I answered. She set the mug in the sink, washed it slowly, carefully, like it mattered. "Stay," I said. "I'm not leaving," she whispered. We stood there for a long moment. Then she leaned into me. I wrapped my arms around her. Her breathing said with mine without. Trying Saturday morning, 9:03 a.m. She's at my stove making scrambled eggs, sleeves pushed up, humming under her breath. The blue mug sits on the counter. Steaming rain taps the window. I watched from the doorway. What if her freezer hadn't broken that night? What if I'd ignored the call? What if I'd stayed home with my beer? She turned, spatula in hand. "We'd have found another way," she says. I step into the kitchen and kiss her temple. The eggs burn a little. Neither of us moves. Some things are worth staying for.